I am in a less than stellar mood. Hi there. It is little after 7:30. Time to show up. I'm showing up. I am glad you showed up. I do appreciate every single one of you. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And let's shit in the box. Now, I've been shelving books in this fucking library. Well, I had been shelving books in the fucking library for 25 hours and 39 minutes, which is actually substantially better than I expected. I thought it was going to take me 30 hours. It didn't even take me 26, but it did take more than 24. So anyway, at 25 hours and 39 minutes, I was at 379 of 400 bookshelves filled, and 3,051 of 3,072 books shelved. And there were no books. I was walking all around this fucking library. There were no goddamn books. Every single book was on a shelf. 21 books were just missing. There was nothing there. They didn't exist. And I had spent all of this time shelving all of these books without using any of the magical abilities that make shelving the books so much easier and so much faster. But I had no choice. I had to find the books. So I bought the skill Insight that shows you which books match the book that is in your hand. And I went to one of the shelves that had only 9 books on it, and I took one of the books off, and I said, Insight. And sure enough, a glowing book appeared in the middle of the floor, and I walked over, and there was nothing there. And when the spell wore off, there's this blank floor, because the book was under the floor. The book had clipped through the level geometry and was outside of the play area. Because somebody fucked up their physics simulation. So I had no choice but to buy the assembly skill, which collects all of the books that match the one in your hand. And I had to go around the entire library and take one book off of each shelf that wasn't complete, and cast the assembly spell, and magically teleport the other books into my hand, one by one. 25.5 hours I spent shelving these fucking books with no magic, and all the way at the end, in the last 20 books, nope, you cannot complete this run of the game. You're soft-locked. You have to use magic to get out. And this is fucking bullshit. It's fairly simple to fix because you only have this one little area, and that's just all you have to do. You set a trigger zone underneath of the play area. And any book that is in that trigger zone is automatically teleported to another trigger zone up around the ceiling and just falls down onto the pile. But they did not do this. They did not put a failsafe into the game to protect the player from being completely fucking stuck. This is not a very difficult game to make. This is not something that needed a tremendous amount of brain power to construct. And it's made in Unreal Engine. So for those of you that know anything about game engines, you know that, like, I don't know, maybe 83% of the work was done by the engine, given what this game actually is. You have to do way more than 16% of the work if you're building like a full FPS. If you're building something where you move around and there are things in the environment that you can move, and there are also enemies with some kind of behavior, and there's a combat system of some sort, you have to do way more than 16%. These fuckers, nah, 16%. Max. 16% of the work at most. Especially considering they've admitted to using generative AI to clean up their graphics. I don't mind that so much because the graphics are incredibly generic. If they had hired a designer and artist to build 400 different kinds of book covers, that is a tedious and mind-numbing job. They would not have been paid very much to do it. They would not have had a whole lot of time to do it. It wouldn't have been their best work in any case. And to be perfectly honest, that is precisely the kind of thing I could see using the garbage farting computer machine to do. Like, when my wife was in art school, and she went on a field trip, and we needed to get there on our own power, and she didn't drive at the time, so I had to drive her to the field trip, which of course meant I got to go on the field trip, so yay, that was kind of cool. We went to a graphic design studio, and the guy was standing there and he was talking to us about the exciting opportunities that you have in the graphic design studio. And behind him were about 30 to 50 people in an open office plan environment, sitting at computers running Photoshop. And they were stripping the background off of product images for a catalog. All of them. Just over and over again. In the time he was giving his speech, they must have done it to like 15 or 20 different products. Some of them working very quickly, some of them working a little slower, but I remember just sitting there and thinking, is that what these people are doing all day? Is cutting product images out of the background? All fucking day? Hundreds of images? Every single day? And he's talking about how exciting and high energy and fast paced his office environment is. But there, behind him, was one of the most mind-numbingly dull things I had ever seen in my fucking life. My wife was very excited when we got out of there, and she said, wasn't that cool? Wasn't it cool going there? Was it cool seeing that? And having that guy tell us all about what it's like to work in graphic design. And I said, did you watch the people behind him? She said, what people? I had to explain. I had to go, the people behind him, the people, he was standing in front of an open office plan office. And he had all these people behind him, and all of those people were working. And he was talking about the kind of work that you would do at his company. And the whole time, there were dozens of people behind him working. Did you pay any attention to the actual people doing the actual work behind him? Or did you just listen to his marketing spiel? I've had friends. I used to be a ghostwriter. And as a ghostwriter, I would frequently get jobs from people, and they would call me up and they would say, I need you to write 50 articles about the Yankee Flipper bird feeder. The what? The Yankee Flipper bird feeder. I'm selling it on my site. I need you to write 50 articles that are keyword optimized to trap searches for the Yankee Flipper bird feeder. I guess I can do that. Sure, I can do the research and I can get those articles done for you. So you have to look up what the fuck is a Yankee Flipper bird feeder, and you have to go, what are people going to search for if they're looking for that? And you have to go and you got to check Google's little keyword tool, and you got to get a number of phrases, and then you take those phrases and you sprinkle them through your articles that you write about fucking bird feeders until you have a keyword density of 3 to 5%, which is the optimal level. That's fucking mind-numbing and dull. But when I was doing that, I had friends who were working for online catalog vendors. And they had lists of thousands of products. And I don't know if anybody remembers, does Lillian Vernon still send out mail order catalogs? You'd pick up a Lillian Vernon catalog and it would say something like, excite your friends with this cute, wonderful statue of a garden gnome whose pants have fallen down. I don't think most people really, truly understand. There is a human being sitting in an office somewhere writing, excite your friends with this wonderful statue of a garden gnome whose pants have fallen down. Oh no, what will he do? His pants have fallen down. Buy several of them and have a party. I don't fucking know what the... There are people in this world that are doing the most mind-numbing horseshit jobs. And I am absolutely in favor of making a machine write that shit. If Lillian Vernon wants to make a catalog, I absolutely think they should throw product names and pictures into the garbage farting computer machine and just have it fart out some garbage, because that's what the people are doing. They're just farting out garbage. And there are a lot of jobs in this world that involve farting out garbage, and I think you absolutely should let a machine do that instead of a human being, because it kills people. It kills people's spirit. All that time I spent writing articles about the fucking Yankee Flipper bird feeder and garbage like that. That was destructive to the soul. It really was. But luckily, I was a good writer, and it didn't take me long to hook up with somebody who recognized that I was a good writer and who said, hey, instead of paying you $1 for every 100 words, which was the going rate at the time, I'm going to pay you a flat rate of $8 per article. I want you to shoot for 300 to 500 words per article, but you get $800 regardless. And you don't have to hit like keyword densities or anything like that. You just write an article you think people are going to want to read. I'll send you the subject. I'll say, write about this. You write about that. And then they'll typically come in batches of 25 to 50. Okay, cool. Because I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like 25 to 50. That's $200 to $400. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Sure. Hell, fuck yeah, man. Just go ahead. That's much better than what I've been doing. And Jonathan Budd was a multi-level marketing guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with multi-level marketing. It's that bullshit that they give it a new name every so often, matrix marketing and network marketing, and they always try to call it something new. It's Amway is what it is. It's fucking Amway. And the idea is this. Look, you go out and you sell the product, okay? And you make a commission, and because you're working under me, I also get a commission. So you get a commission and I get a commission. The people order the product and the commission comes to me and I send some of the commission to you. But here's what you're going to do. What you're going to do is you're going to go get 3 people and they're going to sell the product. And if each of them also gets 3 people, then look at how much money you're going to make. They're not wrong, okay? They're not wrong. That if you're one of 3 people who are going to hustle and bust your butt, and you each get 3 more people that are going to hustle and bust their butt, and each of them gets 3 people that are going to hustle and bust their butt, absolutely fucking A, right. But Jonathan clued me in on the actual numbers, and the actual numbers are 97%. I say 97% a lot of the time. And Jonathan showed me the data. He said it's 97%. 97% of the people you recruit to promote for you are never going to do shit. They're not going to get 3 friends. They're not going to sell anything. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to go, yeah, I really like the idea of being part of this. And they'll put their name on the contract and they will do jack fucking shit. So the thing you want to do is you want to find the 3% and you want to make sure you hold on to them. And he was telling me this because he was talking about like writers and whatnot. I was talking to him about how you find and keep good writers. He said the way you find and keep good writers is to pay them more than they make doing the regular crap work for everybody else, and you just trust them. It's just if you trust people, they'll do more work for you. And I was talking to him about my articles, and he said every article that comes in from you is good, and that's not what I get from most other people. Most people will send in articles and like 20% of them are good. And you got to throw the rest of them away because they just suck. And that's why they get crap. And I sat there and I kind of thought about it and I went, so you get 5 times as much from me, but you only pay me twice as much. I literally brought that up to him and he said, well, yeah, but I never expected to get 5 times as much from you. I expected to maybe get twice. And it was worth it, but you know, you're working at a higher level than I expected. But the fact is, even though you're working at a higher level than I expected, I'm not making more money from the work that you do. I'm just saving money putting it out there. It's not increasing my profit margin substantially. And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. It was a hard lesson for me to learn and understand that you can do 5 times as good a job as somebody else and not deliver 5 times the results. Really? Yeah. Because a lot of your effort is wasted. It just the problem, and Jonathan, you know, I frequently point to Jonathan Budd as a guy who's involved in a scammy industry, which he is, and a guy who runs a fairly scammy business, which he does. But at the same time, he has never lied about it. He has never lied to me. I've never seen him lie to anyone. I've never seen him mislead anybody or say anything except the God's honest truth about anything. He just doesn't volunteer the answer for the question until you ask it. Which makes him like 10 times the guy as everybody else I've met in the MLM industry. I don't have a great view of the MLM industry, but Jonathan told me exactly how to make money at it. He said, here's the truth of how I make money. I recruit people into my downline and I see what they do. And if they are doing something, I offer to sell them a training course. And if they buy the training course, then I make money. And if they buy the training course and they continue working and they start to make money, I will take them with me to the next program. Because the way you make money in MLM is to be in the upper 2 or 3 levels. Nobody below those top 2 or 3 levels makes any money. And the reason they don't make any money is there's too much fucking competition. You got to be in the top level where there's like 50 people. If you're in the top 50 people, you can make money in MLM. If you're in the bottom thousands, you don't make shit. And on top of that, every MLM product is overpriced. Jonathan explained this to me, and I just kind of said that my mind was fucking blown. He said, think about this. You got a product that an MLM is selling, okay? And you get a commission. And your downline gets a commission, but everybody in your downline gets a commission. And if you recruit 3 people, and they recruit 3 people, and they recruit 3 people, and they recruit 3 people, that's 5 commissions coming out of the same product. There's no money in this unless the product is overpriced as hell. Every MLM product is overpriced, and everybody who buys a product through an MLM is a sucker. Because somebody on the top is going to make a deal with the company and get a discount, and they're going to sell the product cheaper. If the product ever gets real popularity, if the product ever gets real distribution, they're going to cut out that whole downline, and only the people on the top level made any money. Having all that shit laid out for me really kind of clarified a lot of shit I'd been seeing in the marketing industry and just in the industry in general, you know? And I really do have Jonathan to thank for that. Jonathan really kind of laid everything out, and he said, look, I'm going to be honest about this because I'm honest about everything. And he was honest and he was straightforward and he was like, most of you are stupid and you don't know what you're doing and you're never going to make any money and I don't fucking care because I'm going to make my money off of you one way or another, and if I don't make any money off of you, fuck off. He was pretty clear about it. And another friend of mine, Colin Terrio, he mentioned one time he figured it out. Everybody was just like, why do you do the things you're doing? Why are you building things? Why are you doing things this way? And there was this point where Colin went, wait a minute, guys, I just figured it out. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about money. And everybody in my marketing circles was like, what? He doesn't care about the money. It's the money isn't what drives. He's doing this for reasons that have nothing to do with money. And they were all just scratching their head going, well, why? Well, why would you do this if it's not for the money? And he was like, he's trying to help people. He's trying to do a good. He's literally like the product he's making about how to do a good job, how to work hard and do a good job. It really is about how to work hard and do a good job because that's what he cares. He wants to teach you to work hard and do a good job. And everybody's like scratching their head and going, but for money, right? And he had the hardest time communicating to them that no, it's not for money. It's just he's trying to tell people to work hard and do a good job because working hard and doing a good job is good for you. And he could not seem to get across to them that everything I made and sold was not made and sold out of a desire to make money, but out of a moral imperative. You can't make a living on a moral imperative. I kept thinking maybe you could, but you really can't. And I've been trying to construct something that actually fucking works. I have been trying to construct something that that really doesn't have anything to do with promoting other people sharing my values. I will work hard and do a good job on my things that I build. And I don't fucking care what you do. I don't care if you work hard. I don't care if you do a good job. I recommend you work hard. I recommend you do a good job. But the fact of the matter is most people are stupid and they like to be stupid and they will fight you to remain stupid. 97%. I'm no longer interested in teaching people how to be good people. I'm just going to make something they enjoy, and I'm going to sell it. And once I sell it, I'm going to be done with it. I'm not selling training. I'm not selling coaching. I'm not selling access. I'm not selling a dream. I'm going to build games. When I sell you a game, the promise of that game is you're going to have fun for a few hours. And the amount you pay for that fun is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it to pay this much, to have this much fun. And the $6 I paid for Librarian is about what I think is fair to ask somebody to pay for something that's the level of fun as my game is going to be. So my game's going to be about this price point. And I'll tell you fucking what. I would never ship a fucking game that did not have a failsafe to prevent soft locking the goddamn level. I can see not knowing this is there, but that is a failure of playtesting. How would I go about fixing this? Well, I don't use Unreal Engine. And the reason I don't use Unreal Engine is because Unreal Engine is from Epic Games. And Epic Games is owned by Tim Sweeney. And Tim Sweeney is the fucking devil. So, yeah. No. I'm not gonna... I am not going to waste any fucking time learning my way around Unreal again. I haven't done any work in Unreal since 5.2. And honestly, even in 5.2, I was sitting there just kind of going, these people make Fortnite. Fortnite is gambling for children. And it's so awful. And it's so predatory. And they're clearly marketing it directly to children. And children are definitely stealing their parents' credit cards and using it to pay Tim Sweeney. And Tim Sweeney is going, I don't fucking care. The moral turpitude of the modern world offends me. It really does. Somebody asked on Blue Sky earlier today, they asked, how does one become a good person? And I said, don't do things you know are wrong. Even when it's inconvenient, and even when nobody is looking. And people argued with that. People argued with the idea that you should not do things that you know are wrong, even when they're inconvenient and nobody is watching. People argued with that. They didn't think that was necessary to be a good person. I despair of ever explaining to any of those people what being a good person actually fucking means. Just like I despair of telling people who made Librarian what doing a good job actually fucking means. Probably their first game. Probably not very experienced. But God fucking damn it. They soft-locked me after over 25 and a half hours. And I am not happy. I got 2 more achievements on this game. I got the one for completing in less than 3 hours. I will be getting that one tonight. And I got one for doing the whole thing without magic. I fucked a lot of stuff up playing this game. I really did. I had no idea what I was doing. I went in blind because I thought that would be fun. I thought that would be the way to do it. And once I looked at the achievements and I went, oh, there's an achievement for doing this, I thought, you know, I may as well go for it since I'm as far along in it as I am. But, oh, the chests in the game. There are keys. When I got to 50 shelves, I was like, it doesn't tell me that the chest unlocked. Let me go see if the chest unlocks. And I went to try and unlock the chest, and it said, you don't have the key that matches this chest. And I said, oh, there are keys. So I went and searched around. There were not a lot of places to search by that point. I'd been picking up books all over the place. And I found the first key, and it unlocked a chest that allowed me to run. And then I found another key that was just hanging on the wall, and it unlocked a chest that allowed me to jump. And I said, if I can jump, then I should find the other keys on top of stuff. And I did, in fact, find the other keys on top of stuff that I had to jump on. There was one in a bookcase, and there was one inside one of the vases on the end of the banisters. So then I opened all of those up. And you get the one that allows you to run, and the one that allows you to jump, and the one that allows you to carry 3 more books, and the one that allows you to carry 2 more books. So overall, you can carry 15 books, and that makes it much faster to proceed in the game. So when I actually get around to restarting this game, which I will be doing shortly after I finish this video, when I actually get around to restarting this game, I'm going to start by digging up the first key, and then opening the chest that lets you jump and going around and collecting the rest of the keys. I think the first key opens the chest that lets you run. One of the keys is hanging on the wall. It's like right there when you first start the game. It's hanging right in front of you. So it's like if you know it's there, you just grab it, you go, you get it, and you can jump. And then once you have that, you can get the 2 keys that are on top of shit, and then you can just clear off the space where the last key is and collect that key, and then you can run. I never run because the way you run in this game is by pushing down the left stick and holding it. And that's awkward and obnoxious, and I don't want to do it, so I haven't been doing it, so I haven't really been running in the game. I've just been walking. I don't know, maybe running will save me time. Anyway, I'm going to play the game the way it's quote-unquote supposed to be played next time through, and I'm going to buy all the magic, and I'm going to use all the magic. And things are going to go a lot faster. A whole lot faster. And I know my way around the library. It goes archery, and then mathematics, and then it's management, and after management is what is after management? Sociology. There's sociology after management, and then there's, oh God, what's the thing after that? Philosophy. Philosophy is after that. Philosophy is after management, and then behind that, you've got language, and alongside language, you have, oh God, what is it? No, wait, you got romance novels. You got philosophy, then there's something else, and then there's romance novels. No, you got philosophy, then romance novels, then it goes to languages, and then immediately next to languages is dungeon-related stuff. Then there is other people's travels, and immediately next to that is the historical section, then mystery novels. Then immediately before mystery novels, you have jurisprudence, which is law. And then next to jurisprudence, you have psychology. Next to psychology, you have economics. Next to economics is, oh fuck, what is next to economics? Something's next to economics, and then next to that thing, next to the thing that's next to economics, it's art. Art is next to economics. It's economics, then art, and then there's immediately next to art there is everyday magic, and then there's warrior stuff. And then when you go down to the first floor, you start off the first thing on your left is animals, and immediately next to animals you have shit. Which one is it immediately next to animals? There's animals, and then there's Next to animals is enchantment, I think. There's enchantment, and then next to enchantment, there's shit. Trying to remember all of this from memory. I have been drinking a fair bit. I really have. But yeah, I know my way around stuff pretty well. It's necromancy, isn't it? Yeah, there's necromancy next to that. And on the other side of necromancy is... On the other side of necromancy, we've got necromancy, and then... It's a short set of shelves. It's not curses. Well, yes, it is. It's curses. And it goes curses, necromancy, and then something, and then illusions. What's next to what's between illusions and necromancy? Enchantment is between illusions and necromancy. It's illusions, enchantment, necromancy, curses, and then animals. And then behind that, you've got destruction spells. That's a wide section. Next to that, you've got alchemy. And then next to alchemy, you've got... no, wait. Between destruction and illusion, you have healing. And then between alchemy and... Between alchemy and... Transmogrification? Is it transmogrification already? Between alchemy and transmogrification, you've got holy magic. You've got transmogrification. I'm pretty sure it's transmogrification. On the other side of that, you've got... Shit. No, it's not transmogrification. It's summoning. It's summoning. The next one over is transmogrification. And between summoning and transmogrification, you have stealth. And then on the other side of transmogrification, you've got music. And then next to music, you've got, what is it in the last one? Prophecy. Yeah. So I know my way around the library now. I really do. I know where things are. When I pick up a book, I know what area it goes in, and I know where it goes. And I have a fairly good idea which books go in a 10 bookshelf and which books go on a short shelf. Because it may be a 5 bookshelf or a 3 bookshelf, but nobody has 3 bookshelves, 5 bookshelves, and 10 bookshelves. They have 10 bookshelves in either a 3 bookshelf or a 5 bookshelf. That's it. Anyway. That's kind of where I am on that. I am seesawing in subscribers right now. And I understand. Okay? I know a lot of you have come here and going, oh wow, this is a Paralives channel. This is not a Paralives channel. If you came here earlier thinking it was a Starfield channel, this was not a Starfield channel. Even now that I'm talking about the video game Librarian, I've talked about Starfield and I've talked about Paralives, I've talked about Librarian. Oh my God, you guys, this is not a video game channel. This is a me channel. This is a channel about what I'm doing and what I think about what I'm doing. So if you're here for the content that this video happens to be about, you're gonna have a bad time. This is basic. I'm all over the fucking place. I really am. I mean, you can tell that because I started out talking about Librarian, and then I ended up talking about multi-level marketing and Jonathan Budd and all kinds of stuff around that. So anyway, esse qua messe. It is what it is. And, God, it's almost time for me to light candles. So, okay, bye.